We start tonight with breaking news. Right now, the Bexar County Sheriff's Office is in a standoff with a chase suspect. They're in the 7100 block of Timber Creek Drive, which is on the west side. Right here, you're getting a live look at the scene.
Yeah, according to the Bexar County Sheriff's Office, the suspect involved in a chase with deputies. We're told he jumped out and ran into the house. We're going to keep you updated as more details become clear. An investigation underway at Brandeis High School after a hidden camera found inside a classroom used by girls in the ROTC program to change clothes.
So Northside ISD officials are telling us that an ROTC instructor found that camera last month and then reported it to school administrators. RJ
Marquez has more details about this investigation and what Northside is saying about the person who may have put the camera in there.
An ROTC instructor right here at Brandeis High School discovered that hidden camera all the way back on March 10th. Now the camera contains several 10-minute videos that show a total of 11 female ROT students as they changed. District spokesperson Barry Perez said those video clips contain no images or videos of any girls fully nude. The district started to notify parents of the students seen in those videos about the incident last week. Perez said Northside police also identified a male student in one of those videos. He is believed to be the person responsible for placing the camera inside the room. But many parents we spoke to here, including some that were not involved, are asking why it took this long for the district to notify anyone about what happened.
But as a parent, you immediately feel threatened with that disconnect, that the school feels like they can take action with your child's well-being and livelihood without even notifying you.
And district officials tell us that the male student here in this case denied any involvement, but the school still took disciplinary action against him. Now the district would not comment any further on this because this is an ongoing criminal investigation, and they did not want to release the student's name at this moment because there could be more charges filed in this case. Reporting from the far northwest side, RJ Marquez, KSAT 12 News.
A student at John Jay High School has died after he was stabbed during a fight at a restaurant near that school. SAPD says it happened just before 2 p.m. yesterday in the 7700 block of Marbach Road. Police are saying 18-year-old Joshua Kinnaman and another man were walking out of the restaurant when that fight started. The other man then pulled out a knife and stabbed Kinnaman. He was taken to a nearby hospital, and then the attacker ran from that area. Now, at this hour, we don't know what that person looks like because police haven't yet given us a description.
And meanwhile, a Northside district spokesperson says within the last 2 weeks, nearly a dozen campuses have reported some kind of a safety threat as a post or text. Northside ISD does not keep an official record of all the school safety threats. A spokesperson for Northside ISD, Barry Perez, says a notification is sent out after students and teachers are all accounted for.
While we may see those kind of district-wide on the increase, we don't really see campuses that deal with them on a really consistent basis, and that's a good thing.
Now, we reached out to several school districts around the city about their school safety protocols, the different types of lockdowns, the types of communication that parents can expect. We have those on our website right now at KSAT.com.
More than a week after 3 students and 3 school staff members were shot and killed at a Nashville private school, students across the nation are taking action to show their support for gun reform. They're actually walking out of their classes today to demand action from lawmakers. And it actually happened today at the Uvalde CISD from noon to 1 today. The district allowed students to leave their classes. The district called it a controlled walkout. And they wanted to be sensitive to the victims of Nashville and also those in Uvalde. The group, Students Demand Action, is organizing that national walkout.
I believe in this. I believe in the cause. So the consequences I might get, I will pay. As unfortunate as they may be, I don't know. But I'm protesting for what I believe in. And these middle schoolers, these high schoolers, these are kids. And I'm so proud of them when they showed up here. I just wanted to say that.
And by the way, Uvalde CISD sent parents a letter assuring them that the students were in a fenced area when they walked out, where they were protected the entire time.
And today, a tentative settlement has been reached between the families of victims in Sutherland Springs mass shooting and the Justice Department. Survivors also part of this lawsuit. The DOJ will reportedly pay the victims and their families more than $144 million. 26 people killed when the shooter opened fire during a service at First Baptist Church of Sutherland Springs. The shooter had served in the Air Force prior to the attack. The U.S. District Judge previously ruled that the Air Force was in fact 60% liable for that attack because it failed to submit the gunman's assault conviction during his time in the Air Force to a national database. That might have prevented him from being able to buy a gun. The Justice Department said the settlement is still subject to court approval.
In Hollywood Park, a man allegedly fired a gun to break up a fight, and now police are saying that 2 people are in custody. Happened sometime around 1 o'clock this morning along the 281 access road near Bitters. Hollywood Park police say that a group of people got into a fight, and then a man fired a gun into the air to try and break it up. So when officers got there, they say another man tried to interfere with them as they arrested someone. Police say that they asked Hill Country Village, San Antonio PD, and also Bexar County Sheriff's deputies for backup.
Looked like a really big deal with all the police presence. And in today's age, with active shooters, we cannot take any chances.
Now, police arrested 2 men in their 20s. One of them is charged with disorderly conduct for allegedly firing a gun into the air, and the other is charged with interfering with police.
An online drug business. What has 2 men from New Braunfels pleading guilty to federal charges today. According to the U.S. Attorney's Office, 42-year-old Evan Field and 32-year-old Michael Diaz pleading guilty to conspiracy to defraud the U.S. and traffic in misbranded drugs. The 2 reportedly bought drugs in bulk, including opioids, then resold them through their website. Now, in most cases, the drugs were from China and not approved by the Food and Drug Administration. Sentencing is scheduled for August. They each face up to 5 years in prison.
Just 4 hours. That's how long it took a jury to convict Jimmy Tran of capital murder. Tran has been on trial for 7 days for the 2019 robbery of 22-year-old Andres Salinas. After the verdict was read, Judge Cristina Escalona automatically sentenced Tran to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The co-defendant, Sebastian Espinar, took a plea, and he's going to be sentenced at a later date.
Check out weather right now. 74 degrees out there, and feels like we're in the midst of a change, Adam Caskey.
Oh boy, get ready for some big changes. I mean, we're talking jacket and umbrella weather just around the corner. Our wind is finally pumping the brakes as well. We had a maximum gust of 41 miles per hour. Our most recent gust down to 25. New Braunfels still gusting to 30, but that's the high end. And the wind will continue to gradually subside over the next couple of hours, and you're not going to notice it very much tonight. Temperature-wise, 70 Boerne, 71 Helotes and Bulverde, 80 at San Antonio International, 74 Pleasanton, and 76 Hondo, but significantly cooler as we go into tomorrow. You're not going to feel the drop tonight or this evening. I mean, 10 o'clock, 64 degrees, midnight at 60. It's tomorrow when you'll really feel the chill along with Good Friday. We'll talk about how cold it's going to get in just a bit. Also, look at these rain chances ramping up first thing in the morning. We'll time out the rain and take a look at who's going to get the most and how much in just a bit.
Thank you, Adam. Bright sunshine downtown, and this traffic shuttle show it to you. This is I-37 at Cesar Chavez. You've got the Institute of Texan Cultures to your left. You've got the Alamo Dome to your right. And as you can see, traffic is moving along very smoothly on this Wednesday.
Too smoothly, especially at 6:07. All right. So switching gears now, this happens almost every campaign season. People steal political signs. But one candidate for San Antonio City Council says that she actually caught her opponent's father, who himself is an elected official, actually in the act.
Yeah, and though the accused man tells Garrett Berger it was just a misunderstanding.
Do not take my signs. Don't take the signs.
Sandra Grace Martinez and her husband were at the intersection of Bandera and Broadview Tuesday when she saw someone pick up one of her signs for the District 7 council race on the northwest side and throw it in the back of a pickup. It was near a restaurant that she says had given her permission to have it there.
Usually this happens in the middle of the night, but in broad daylight, I thought that was pretty arrogant of them.
Martinez recorded part of the ensuing confrontation, though background noise makes it hard to follow. At one point, the man seems to say he was going to take Martinez's sign into the restaurant. It wasn't until after she posted the video that Martinez learned who it was she and her husband had confronted. Joe Alderete Jr., a former San Antonio councilman, current trustee at the Alamo Colleges District, and the father of one of her opponents, Marina Alderete Gavito. We tried reaching Alderete directly at home, but we're told he wasn't there. He later emailed a statement calling the incident a misunderstanding, saying in part, quote, "My understanding was that the property owner gave Marina's campaign exclusive rights for that corner, but a business leasing a portion of the property was allowing another campaign to put up a sign. A name Alderete can be heard using on the video matches the owner of the store next to the restaurant, though he told KSAT no campaigns had spoken to him directly. Gavito said her campaign has a policy not to touch other signs.
So why was he touching it in this case?
I wasn't there. I can just speak to our campaign policy. I think there's back and forth on what happened.
He said, she said, showing election season is in full swing.
Do not take my signs anymore.
Now, we tried to untangle the whole issue of who had permission or who didn't. Without much luck, a worker at the restaurant indicated both campaigns had permission, but wasn't clear on the details. And the owner of the store next door, as you heard, said no one had talked to him. And the company that actually owns the property didn't return our call. In the newsroom, I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
The tangled web it was, Garrett. Thank you. Coming up later in sports, from the Alamo City to the capital city, the Spurs getting ready to play their final 2 home games of the season in Austin. Larry will be live with a preview of the games in Big Board Sports.
Plus, how a woman injured while serving in Afghanistan is now inspiring other veterans. That's the latest in our Front and Center. It's up next.
Want to give you a look now at what we're working on for you on the Night Beat. They were concerned about how their toddler was being treated at daycare, so they sewed a recording device into the child's jacket. Tonight, KSAT investigates those stunning recordings. Those stories and more coming up on the Night Beat at 10. At Front and Center, the remarkable story of a woman who has had to overcome the challenges of an injury sustained while deployed in Afghanistan.
Has an amazing story, but now she actually has a new mission, and she's inspiring other wounded warriors to improve their health, quality of life, and also build camaraderie through adaptive sports. Our Jonathan Cotto has her story.
I went from being a very active mother. I have a son, and before my deployment, we'd go to the skate park, we'd go riding bikes, we'd go rock climbing. Like, we're a very active family. And then I came home, and I wasn't able to do a lot of things.
U.S. Army veteran Beth King was injured while on a mission in Afghanistan in 2011. The helicopter she was in was shot down by an RPG, a rocket-propelled grenade.
Thankfully, we were only about 400 feet off the ground when we were hit, so we were able to land and everyone was able to get out.
But King sustained significant injuries to her jaw, spine, and brain.
At the very beginning, I had a lot of balance issues. I could barely walk across the room without falling. So it was very dark. It was like I didn't have any hope.
With the help of the Wounded Warrior Project, King has been able to find her way out of the darkness and regain her hope.
There's absolutely nothing that I can't do today. It may not look the same as if you were doing it, but with the right equipment and the right time and training and persistence, there's no injury that you can't do something with.
Adaptive Sports Director Mark Hoffmeister says one of the biggest challenges for these veterans is regaining self-confidence and overcoming personal barriers.
Getting a warrior into sport and having them realize the capability that still lies within, that's a key goal. But that's just the first step.
The second step, progressively training them to be superior athletes. Today, this sports clinic helping wounded warriors work on skill, agility, and speed.
Good job, brother.
These warriors' abilities and skills are truly remarkable. What they do, harder than it looks.
I think it's actually a statement of those who choose to serve our nation in its defense. Resilience is at the core of a warrior.
King is nationally classified as a F-34 javelin thrower and is currently working towards making the U.S. Paralympic team.
Get back in the game. Come join an adaptive sport. Come to a clinic. Get support. Don't do this alone. There's no reason to be out here struggling by ourselves. Push, push, push!
Reporting Front and Center, Jonathan Cotto, KSAT 12 News.
Wow, it's amazing work, and Beth, we are rooting for you.
Yeah, resilience at the core of a warrior. I like that. All right, this is the Door of Equality sculpture, downtown San Antonio, kind of where Main and San Pedro Avenue all kind of come together there. Nice looking sculpture. I think it was done by the same one that did the Torch of Friendship sculpture also.
That would make sense.
Downtown.
But you know what? It is a very nice shot out there. And I'm looking down and looking at the temperature, 74 degrees. And I'm just going, that sounds nice.
Right. And you're going to need a jacket the next couple of days. Yeah, we're talking long sleeve weather and big noticeable changes on the way. And that includes some good soaking rainfall Thursday and Good Friday. Much cooler with those fall-like temperatures in place with the rain. And then we do clear out and it's going to be beautiful and comfortable for Easter. But a lot to talk about between now and then, especially timing out the rain and just how cold it's going to get. Take a look at our temperature trend. The next couple of days, Thursday and Friday, exclusively in the 50s. We're not going to get out of the 50s. From the morning to the afternoon to the night, we're going to be in the 50s all day Thursday and Friday. By Saturday, we get to 70. Easter Sunday, we're up to 78 degrees. Right now, we have some shower activity closer to the Gulf Coast. This is where our rain event's going to happen, where it's going to start, I should say. This is where it all starts. And already we're seeing some of these showers and thunderstorms develop, moving toward Victoria. Cuero almost getting clipped by some of the sprinkles, but this activity is going to become more widespread through the night and into tomorrow. And this is actually along the cold front that moved through here earlier this morning. No surprise that still right along that boundary, right along the coast, is where we have some of the showers and thunderstorms developing as those fronts act as the lifting mechanism to get the air lifted and generate showers and thunderstorms. But let's go forward in time. And you'll notice here in the Futurecast, it represents it nicely. The rain begins closer to the Gulf Coast and along the coastal plain overnight tonight, and then overspreads San Antonio during the morning commute tomorrow. Thereafter, the rest of the day tomorrow and all day Friday, we're going to have rain coming and going. Pretty much at any moment in time, you can expect to see showers somewhere in our area on the radar. There will be breaks in the action throughout Thursday and Friday, but there will also be periods of heavy rainfall as well. Some cracks of thunder, a little bit of lightning here and there, but we're not expecting anything severe. Just good, beneficial, soaking rain. I've been excited all week for this, and it's finally coming around and coming through for Thursday and Friday. The kind of rain we haven't seen around here since October of 2021. Now you can see why I'm so excited. This is what we need, good drought-denting rain. By Friday night, it comes to an end. So if you plan on camping out Friday night and or Saturday night, just know setting up on Friday, it's going to be a little muddy and the ground's going to be wet. There will be puddles all over the place, but conditions are going to improve. And then actually good camping weather at the parks for Saturday night and into Easter. Beautiful. As for rainfall potential, 1 to 2 inches, I think, likely around San Antonio, surrounding communities as well, with 3 inches plus east of town. We're talking some of our eastern counties closer to the Gulf Coast, and then lesser amounts, even less than an inch closer to Del Rio. But I do think there will be some pockets of higher accumulations where the localized downpour set up. Chilly, 50 in the morning, 55 in the afternoon, a northeasterly wind at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Hondo 56 tomorrow. Kerrville Canyon Lake only 53. Timberwood Park 53, Lavernia a high of 55 degrees. We do it again on Friday, 59 the high temperature. Then Saturday, still gray, but a lack of humidity in the air, 71. By Easter Sunday, low humidity, sunny, and 78. An ideal Easter, and we can enjoy it after that good rainfall. And next week, a lot of sunshine, low 80s. My first of 5 medal giveaway tomorrow on the south side, Mission Park Pavilions. The first 200 folks will be eligible to get one of the medals. Line begins at 4. Medals are given away at 6.
So during Therm Thursday.
That's right.
All right, thank you.
Wonder if that's a coincidence. All right, let's go live now to Austin right now. The Spurs are in town, even though they don't play till tomorrow night, Larry.
Yeah, they're in town. You know, we were talking to some of the Spurs staffers, and they were telling us it's weird to be in a city that doesn't have an NBA team because they're just not used to it. You know, they go to Memphis, they're used to going there. They're used to going Cleveland, but not here in Austin. So coming up in just a few moments, the Spurs are here. And Pop, you know, he's more excited about the food he's going to get to eat. And Spurs legend Sean Elliott says no worries when it comes to the Spurs playing in Austin. Coming up.
You know, we're extremely excited to be in front of those fans there. You know, we're hyped for the atmosphere that it's going to be. You know, be 2 good games out there. So we're looking to bring in and hopefully put on a show for those fans out there.
Move over, Austin Spurs. The San Antonio Spurs are now in town in Big Board Sports. Good evening, everybody, and welcome live to Austin, where the San Antonio Spurs are in town, getting ready to play 2 home games here away from the AT&T Center, that is. And you know what? They're calling this the Interstate 35 Series. So the Spurs arrive to Austin around 3:30 this afternoon. The Silver and Black will play back-to-back games at the brand new Moody Center, which is a beautiful arena that sits on the campus of the University of Texas. The Moody is right off I-35 and sits a stone's throw away from Royal Memorial Stadium. Tomorrow's game with Portland is slated to be the first ever regular season NBA game to be played in the Texas Capitol. Pop is ready to eat. Well, the Spurs, they're here and ready to hoop.
It's always fun to switch it up. You know, being in the league, it's gone by so fast being in the league for 6 years now. You get to be in the same arenas all the time, so anytime you can switch it up, and it's been fun. We've done that in Mexico City. We did that at the Dome this year, so we've been a lot of places this year. It's been a lot of fun.
The vibes are immaculate, but yeah, there's a lot of things going on at all times. I feel like it's really cool. I feel like keeping Austin weird, that little saying, it goes with it, obviously. But, we're just really excited to be here, excited to continue to, expand our fan base.
Seeing new fans, playing in a different arena, all that is interesting and fun. So good to be here. And on a selfish note, you've got some great restaurants up here, and I'll be doing that every single night, either if we have no game or after the game.
Sounds like a great plan, Pop. Last month, the Spurs announced that they are holding a series of events in the area as they try to engage fans before the games tomorrow and Saturday afternoon. Casa de Spurs at Native Hostel will serve as the Spurs headquarters this week with photo ops, games, and giveaways. The team said the 2-game series is part of their vision to purposefully engage and celebrate the Spurs' entire fan base extending from Mexico to Austin. But this has some SA fans nervous that the team is possibly gearing up to move to Austin in the future. Spurs legend Sean Elliott says not so fast.
I think those games are going to be fun. We have a lot of fans in Austin. We have a lot of fans that drive down from Austin regularly to catch our games, and so this is kind of a tip of the cap to them, and just to let them know that, hey, we appreciate the fans in Austin, and we want to engage with them more. It's important for us to capture that Austin market all the way down into Mexico, because that's a huge fan base. A lot of Spurs fans in South Texas, a lot of fans that don't get a chance to see games all the time. And that's why I think you see the commitment from the organization to go to Austin and play a couple games.
The Spurs will host Portland tomorrow night at 7 and then Minnesota Saturday at 3 p.m. at the Moody Center. The Trailblazers have been eliminated from postseason contention, while the Timberwolves sit 9th in the West and appear to be play-in tournament bound. And you know what, Pop, talking about food has me hungry. Photog Mark is hungry. We're going to go eat. Guys, back to you.
Hey, if Mark's hungry, that's all that matters, really. I have a question for you, Larry, before we let you go. I want to know what you're seeing out there. Were there any local camera crews there when the Spurs arrived? I mean, are you getting the sense that this is a big deal in Austin?
All the Austin media that I'm aware of, they were here today, but other San Antonio media not here. I did hear, though, that they're coming up probably tomorrow, so they're getting here. And there were a handful of fans outside, too, to greet the Spurs today when they arrived.
Yeah, I was more curious. I knew we were the only San Antonio station there, but I was curious about the fact if there are Austin stations out there, if they're, kind of getting caught up in all this. So that's good to know. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you.
Yeah.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back. In tonight's Q&A, we discussed something that many of you have been thinking and talking about for quite some time. It's a question that we all have, and that's whether the Spurs are going to move to Austin. Yeah, the diehard fans don't like to hear that, but there's a lot of buzz because the Spurs are currently in Austin to play 2 home games this week.
Yeah, joining us live to talk about that and whether Austin really knows the Spurs are even in town is Chip Brown, a sports writer in Austin. He is with horns247.com. He's been with the Associated Press. He's been with the Dallas Morning News. He's had his own sports talk show in Austin. So I thought my friend Chip was the perfect guy to go to ask, how Austin is viewing all this, the Austin sports fans. So, Chip, what's the vibe there when it comes to the Spurs coming to town for a couple of games?
Well, I just don't know that the word has gotten out the way it should, because, look, I think it's going to be a great scene. The Moody Center, where the Longhorns play their home games, and of course, where seemingly every concert under the sun has come in. It's going to be a great atmosphere, and for the casual sports fan, it's a great opportunity to see an NBA game, see the San Antonio Spurs, see the Portland Trailblazers or the Minnesota Timberwolves. Granted, only the Timberwolves have playoff implications, but the word hasn't gotten out the way it probably should. And so the buzz just isn't there. So if, and I don't think there's any realistic talk of the Spurs moving to Austin. I think, in talking to folks connected to the Spurs, this is about them, reaching out to their fan base. They're also, they've played in Mexico City as well. So, I think they're just trying to get their brand out, and it's a good idea. They just need to do a better job of getting the word out.
Okay, but is their brand out? Like whenever you've been out and about, say a sports bar or something, when a Spurs game is going on, is there excitement there?
Yeah, I mean, it's not what it used to be, right?
Right.
It's not what it used to be with Tim Duncan and Manu and Tony Parker and the good old days. But yes, it is. There's a large Spurs contingent, large group of Spurs fans in Austin. So they're gonna be there. I mean, I the tickets are going. It's a reasonable price. You can get in for $36. Every seat in the Moody Center is a good seat. So, and maybe it'll build. That's another thing about Austin. You can get people going in one direction, kind of on a moment's notice if you just put the word in the right place.
Yeah. Would you consider Austin Spurs country, though? I mean, because you've got a lot of competition. You've got the Rockets out there. You've got the Mavericks out there. Would you consider Austin Spurs country?
I mean, it's more Spurs country than I would say Mavericks or Rockets country. But Steve and Stephania, this in Texas, it's about the front runner, who's winning.
Yeah,
and everyone wants to be on board the bandwagon when it's rolling and the wins are piling up. So it's but I do think that it's more Spurs country than it is Mavs and Rockets, and obviously you've got a lot of people living in Austin who've lived all over the state of Texas. But I do think that this is more Spurs country than Mavs or Rockets.
Okay, so we know that the Spurs have a contract to stay here up until 2032, although they can break that contract as long as they pay. I'm just wondering if there's been any talk from officials, from leaders there in Austin about possibly welcoming the Spurs there on a more permanent basis.
No, I don't think it's there.
Okay.
Not at this point. And I'm usually, in touch with people on that kind of level. And so, if that's like whispers in the back room, it hasn't reached a point where, there's any kind of real conversation, in my opinion. And so, I don't think that is a concern at this point.
All right, Chip, before we let you go, I've got a question for you. What's generating more excitement in Austin? The orange and white game that the UT football team's going to be playing, the Austin FC games that are coming up, or the Spurs games?
Well, it's the orange-white game because this is Longhorns country, and there's excitement and anticipation that the Longhorns might actually be in the Big 12 title game in 2023.
All right. So
answered.
Okay, Austin FC versus the Spurs.
Spurs.
Really? Okay. All right.
I mean, Austin FC is, I don't know how they get that one end of the of the field to the fans always cheering. I don't know what's going on there, but I mean, it's a good atmosphere. I don't know quite how they're creating that atmosphere, but you know, and again, the Spurs are down right now. So,
yeah,
you know, Austin FC's been in, you know, they were in the playoffs last year. So, but yeah, I think it's still Spurs.
All right. Okay. Chip Brown, always appreciate your time and your insight and giving us that Austin vibe about the Spurs. Appreciate it, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, anytime.
Take care.
Thank you. And we'll be right back after this.